YouTube, you already know what time it is and what day of the week it is. It is Friday, and it is the best day of the week of them all. Why? Because it's the end of the work week. We get to let loose, have fun, and enjoy the weekend. Oh, man, am I happy it's Friday. And on top of that, every 2 weeks or so, it is payday. I'm just saying. Anyways, you already know what time it is. I'm your host, No Mercy Sports. But before we get into today's episode, a quick shout out to True Victory. Now, normally I sport Reaper apparel. They are good. The hoodies are great. The clothing is great. Everything they have on their website is great. But True Victory is also where it's at. I've been wearing this out here in the hot Texas heat, and let me tell you, it is lightweight, it is breathable, and it helps you get through the hot Texas summers. Be sure to click the link in the description below and use code No Mercy Sports, all caps, followed by the number 15. That's No Mercy Sports, all caps, followed by the number 15. Now, without further ado, and now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time for the most uncut, unfiltered, and unfucking censored sports talk show you will find on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode with everybody saying No Mercy Sports. Yeah!
Nobody can stop me now.
That never gets old. Oh, now we're still waiting on a few people, but there is one guest that is here with me today. He is a villain, and a villain of sorts when it comes to college sports at that, and he fits the role of a villain. I'm a guest host on his show every Thursday. Please help me welcome to the stage, Mr. Andrew Anderson of College Sports Villains. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I am great. I also got my 2-year-old is going to be a special guest today because I'm the only person in the house. So if you hear him playing in the background, don't worry about it. We still going to do our thing.
All right, no worries. So he's basically going to be doing some Stan Lee cameo appearances.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Hey, ain't no thing. All right, so let's get into today's first topic. For whatever reason, I know we're a month away from the NFL draft. That's understandable. But the biggest topic that's been going around is, should the Bears trade Justin Fields? Should they trade the number 1 draft pick? Should the Bears draft Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams has been nothing but a fucking crybaby ever since, I don't know, he declared for the draft. From being what was supposed to be a transcendent and franchise QB, which I don't think he is, ever since he declared for the draft, to arguably being a bigger crybaby than LeBron James himself. On top of that, it was leaked, I believe, earlier this week that Justin Fields, when it came to discussing who the greatest basketball player of all time is, he chose LeBron over MJ, which is ironic because an Ohio State player is in Chicago, and he's preferring LeBron over MJ, and MJ is a god amongst men in the city of Chicago. It's like Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taze. So now Caleb Williams has suddenly had a change of heart. He's like, well, you know what? I like MJ. I like Walter Payton. Oh, hey, I also like deep dish pizza, so I would like to go to Chicago. But this bipolar spoiled brat is so all over the place that at first he wanted to go to Washington just because his former head coach is now the new offensive coordinator and also saying, well, I'm not going to throw out the combine because it's a waste of my time. Go look at my highlights and you'll see what I can do. Now all of a sudden he wants to go to Chicago. Should the Bears really consider trading Justin Fields, or should they dive headfirst into this drama pool with Caleb?
Well, there are two sides of the coin with this. So Justin Fields' agent did come out and say that Justin Fields was going home, which would suggest that he's going to the Falcons, right? Because he's from Georgia. So I think Justin Fields is checked out of Chicago, and I think that's where we're at. Now with Caleb Williams, I think he's a great quarterback, and I think he'll be phenomenal, but he come out today or yesterday and refused to release his medical records too. The first guy ever to do that in a draft. So it's very weird. It's not gonna fit, buddy. There are so many quarterbacks in this draft that are just so good. You know, they could go after Michael Penix Jr. I mean, there's Jaden Daniels and all that, but you know,
JJ McCarthy.
I mean, Bo Nix. I mean,
absolutely.
But you know, interestingly enough, an NFL executive, a very famous one, here you go, buddy. A very famous one came out today and said that Spencer Rattler will be a better quarterback than Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix, and people should consider taking him. So I have been preaching this all year long as a Gamecock fan. Watching him throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns with less than 3 seconds to throw the ball, you know, suggests that he's there. But the Bears won't pick him. The Bears will pick Caleb Williams. I do believe it. Justin Fields' agent says he's going home. So I believe what they're going to do, they're going to have a trade package with the Falcons, which they'll have the number 1 overall pick, and they'll have the number 8 overall pick. So they'll be able to pick up Caleb Williams, and if they choose not to, they can go ahead and pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. with that number 1 pick, and then pick up Michael Penix Jr. or Jaden Daniels with 8. So it's win-win for the Bears, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree. And, like, I was even surprised myself that somebody from ESPN was even talking about Spencer Rattler being the dark horse in the draft. I was like, wow. You know, we had, like, yes, this draft sort of is deep in the quarterback position. I really see it as MPJ, JJ McCarthy, and Jaden Daniels, and then obviously Spencer Rattler as a dark horse. And it kind of blew me away, but at the same time, South Carolina does not get the recognition that it deserves.
No, they don't. They're talking about Spencer Rattler could be a pick like Tom Brady, just like a big sleeper pick. Somebody should consider getting. Same way with Bo Nix. Bo Nix is really getting no first round love right now.
Yeah,
but they're talking about he could quite possibly be the best quarterback of this draft.
And, so the Bears have gone to the right team and in the right system. Oh, Spencer Rattler is going to be a dangerous man.
You think about if Spencer Rattler can somehow find his way to Denver and play under Sean Payton. I think we'll see just some real booming going on there.
I could see a Super Bowl title or two going back to the Mile High City.
Yes,
I mean, because you look at what Sean Payton has done with Drew Brees in New Orleans. Yeah, they won a Super Bowl, but man, oh man, did New Orleans kept getting screwed out of the playoffs so many times. But like, they should have at least 3 or 4 Super Bowls with Drew Brees under center.
No, you can't have that, buddy. But so the thing about it is, so Drew Brees, in my opinion, is one of the more overrated quarterbacks. I compare him to Dan Marino. Yeah, he threw the ball 70 times a game, so his numbers look fantastic. But at the end of the day, what did it bring them? You know what I mean? Okay, you don't want it. And but so I think that's kind of where he lies. I don't think that Drew Brees is going to. I mean, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, I think that Spencer Rattler under Sean Payton can be better. You're not having a mint, no.
Yeah, and on top of that, the Broncos do have a really well team put together.
Yes,
for Rattler to work with. I mean, you got Jerry Jeudy, you got Cortland Sutton, Who do they have at the running back? Oh my god! Like they have some really dynamic pieces that
Yeah,
can
they
take them
do.
far.
It's just, yeah, he's having himself a ball.
He really is. I love
Come
it. I
here.
love it. It's all good. It's all good.
He's upset because he cannot have a mint, a hard candy.
Oh,
So
that baby doesn't want some mint.
you want a mint, but you can't have it.
Oh,
Yes. You gonna tell everybody, hey? Yeah,
hi. Yeah, hi.
they got a new superstar here. He doesn't have an ice cream and a soda like this kid, man.
Oh my
He
god,
likes.
he's adorable.
Oh yeah, he likes being on camera too.
Yeah, no, he shut down real quick. He's like, "Oh, I'm on camera? Okay,
Yes,
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. Hi, ladies."
that's right. You gonna tell him, hey? No. Oh, you gonna tell him? But yeah, I think the Bears are trading Justin Fields. I think that's what's going to happen. They'll have the number 1 and the number 8 pick if they trade him to Atlanta, and they'll probably get somebody in return, maybe Desmond Ritter, because the Falcons will have no need for him after that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'd rather the Falcons at least trade Taylor Heineke because he's obviously shown that he's been a great backup and like a mid starter, but like there's just something about him that gets you hyped up. You know what I'm saying?
there is, but Ritter's the bigger name, right? And the
Mm,
Falcons understand that keeping Heineke as a backup is probably going to be a better option than having Ritter as a backup.
that's true.
Ritter, who started most of the season, now he's going to be a backup to a new superstar coming in. That usually doesn't work out well. People get in their feelings or whatever you want to say. And
Yeah.
I just think, as a Falcons fan, so this hits home personally, right? Go get your phone. I'll do it for you. So, as a Falcons fan, like to have Justin Fields is a big win, right?
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the pieces that the Falcons have.
Right. And the Falcons can be really good. What? The hard candy is gone.
I was gonna say the Huck and Sandy.
No, he's saying the hard candy. He's searching for it, but I made it go away. Go get your phone, and then I'll have you some pretzels. And but I think as a Falcons fan, Justin Fields is a big win for us. I would like to see us, of course, draft Spencer Rattler, Bo Nix, something like that. That's just selfish, but Justin Fields is battle ready now, and the Falcons team isn't built for the future; it's built for right now. So
Yeah, no, for sure.
I understand, and I welcome Justin Fields after the quarterback play we've had since Matt Ryan left. I will welcome him with open arms.
No, absolutely. I think every Atlanta fan would, especially given the fact that he's from Atlanta too.
Right, exactly. And his agent said he's going home. I think that deal is done, but they can't announce it yet because you technically can't sign yet. So I think the second we see those gates open, you'll see Justin Fields to Atlanta.
Right. And I mean, this is just me being biased, but I don't want to see Justin Fields leave Chicago because he is fit into that city so well. And it's like, okay, yes. So we're going off of the fact that Justin Fields said he prefers LeBron over MJ. And like I said, MJ is a god amongst men in the city of Chicago. MJ is to Chicago what Babe Ruth is to the city of New York or any other Yankees legend for that matter. But at the same time, Justin Fields went to Ohio State, who was born, raised, played basketball in Ohio, LeBron James. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Well, I mean, you take especially these younger people who didn't get to watch Michael Jordan play personally. They don't understand. They just see numbers and LeBron breaking these records. They don't understand that, MJ's father got murdered and he spent 2 years playing baseball. If not, he wins 8 straight championships. Like they didn't watch the clutchness. They didn't watch the killer instinct. So they don't know. All they see is these numbers. And LeBron's numbers are impressive. I'm not taking nothing away, but he's not MJ.
Absolutely not.
He is not MJ.
No. Oh my God. Like I said, like we were discussing last week, LeBron has turned the NBA into the friendship era. Everybody's so focused on being buddy-buddy, dapping each other up, before the game versus like, oh, hey, you're on the team of my team's rival, so we're out for blood. I don't care. And instead, it's like, no, well, let's put our differences aside and hug it out after the end of the game. Oh, what you matter, buddy?
He's just trying to be on camera completely. He loves to be on camera. This is how it is. Even when there's no camera on, he's got to just lay on me. He's a daddy's boy, big time.
I love it. But yeah, I mean, it's really crazy how this generation really functions and operates, because it's like, oh, well, LeBron's been around for 20 years. MJ, when he was in year 20, he was doing this, that, the other. Yeah, because he put his body, he went to hell and back. He went through hellfire and brimstone to accomplish what he's accomplished.
Right.
So anyways, but speaking of the NBA, the playoffs draw closer and closer. And a few days ago, we saw the Cleveland Cavaliers face off against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, usually in the final seconds of the game, you just launch up a Hail Mary full court shot, praying that it goes in and it's going to be the game winner. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But in Cleveland's case, it was one of those times that it did. Max Strus, where the hell were you last year where the hell was this type of gameplay when you were playing for the Heat in the playoffs? My God. Max Strus threw up a 59-foot, I think the second longest in the three-point era of basketball, and made it to secure a win over the Dallas Mavericks. Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers sit at 38-20, and and they're the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Despite the record and how everything looks in the standings, are the Cavs a sleeper team?
The Cavs are very dangerous. If they catch you on the wrong day, 2 or 3 days in a row, they can knock you out of the playoffs, right? Unfortunately, they're going to run into Boston at some point, I believe. And
they get to avoid Boston for like the first round or two. I think it's going to be the Eastern Conference Finals that they'll meet up.
Right. And if Boston's hitting on all cylinders, the Cleveland cannot beat Boston. That's just the reality for them right now, right? But I mean, Boston has a tendency to not make good shots in the moment. Yeah. So anything's possible. Cleveland's a very good team, but sleeper maybe, but do they win it all? Probably not.
No, I completely agree. I don't think they win it all, but I really do think that they also have the potential to be. Hi, buddy. I see you. But Cleveland does have the potential to be a very well put together dark horse sleeper team. I mean, they have Jared Allen, Max Strus, and Donovan Mitchell leading the way, and obviously the results are showing. They're the second seed in the Eastern Conference, and just come playoff time, it's going to be one to watch.
Even over Milwaukee. They got a better record than Milwaukee right now.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
It is impressive. Unfortunately, like JJ Redick said about Doc Rivers is the problem. Like, Mommy, buddy, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, and arguably the greatest three-point shooter to step foot on a court, being Damian Lillard. For me, I know people say Steph Curry is the best shooter, but I like Lillard and Curry. It's just they're yin and yang.
Mm-hmm. They are. But with that being said, I don't know, man. Milwaukee wasn't doing so hot, and they really went through a lot of hoops. Fired a winning coach to get Doc Rivers because they thought he was the answer. And I don't think he is. I think they made a mistake. I think just for some reason Doc Rivers isn't meshing with that team.
Nope.
And It's just not working well for him.
Yeah,
on,
and
baby.
the results are showing. Like, I guess come playoff time, we're gonna have to just wait
Go
and
play.
see what happens. Because Rivers, he's been a good coach when it comes to.
He's hold on. Come on,
He's
buddy.
so hyper. He's so hyper.
He is. He's 2.
I was gonna say it could be the Reese's or it could be the Hershey's because I see the chocolate smears on his lip.
Yeah, he has the chocolate. That's for sure. Come on, buddy.
Oh, he's a pro gamer too. Wow.
Yes, he likes gaming a lot.
Oh, look out, Ninja. Look out.
Come on, sit down.
Oh,
He's just
no.
got to be on me. It's just the way it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think a Boston Denver series is what we all deserve.
Right.
I would love to see it.
Yeah. So the one thing I gotta ask, aside from Denver, what's a sleeper finals you would love to see?
Based on not name recognition, just how they are. Honestly, who wouldn't love to see the Warriors and the Minnesota? I mean, not Minnesota. The Warriors and Milwaukee. I mean, Giannis versus Steph Curry. Unfortunately, I think Klay Thompson's already checked out. He's already talking about he's going to another team next year, and I don't think we'll see it. But I would like to see Steph Curry in the finals one more time. Selfishly,
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think the Warriors and Milwaukee Bucks is a great finals.
Yeah.
And, to see the Warriors get one more before their star players, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, even Draymond Green, as physical that he has been since he came into the NBA, like he's been that vital piece to the Warriors dynasty.
He has been, and they're getting old. That's the problem with them right now. That's why they're last in the play-in. 5 years ago they were the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And now they're barely in the play-in. That's what they will do to you.
Yeah.
That's just and there's no Kevin Durant coming to save their season or anything like that. So
absolutely. No, I mean, it's crazy. But speaking of, we're going to stay on the topic of basketball because it is that time of year once again. The time of year where us sports fans come down with a serious sickness. And no, I'm not talking about COVID. I'm not talking about any other serious fucking sickness or anything like that. I'm talking about March Madness, the greatest sports sickness of all time that you can. It's so hard to say a character with him. Oh God.
he just wants his Mickey now, apparently. So
you want Vicky?
Go get it.
Yeah, you got two legs that ain't broken.
Yeah, he I don't know, man.
I'm sorry, I would be that parent.
I am. Don't get me wrong, I am. I that's why he's so spoiled.
Oh yeah, no, and then comes the time where it's like they come in from outside crying that they hurt themselves. Were you bleeding? You got any broken bones? No? Then go outside and keep playing. You're just hurt. The pain will go away.
Oh yeah, he'll get hurt for like 10 seconds, then he's like, yeah. Like he'll face, like one day he was sitting there, my son's friend was over, and he literally jumped off the top of the couch and swanton bombed him. I mean, the whole over where he jumped over, had his back, and I meant like the whole nine. not even an altered version, like the real Swanton. I was like, this kid is crazy.
Well, hang on. Did he at least get the 3 count?
I mean, yeah, Matt was out. He got Matt pretty good, and that's a heck of a thing to do for a 2-year-old. But I don't know where he decided to do that, but he climbed up. I wasn't paying attention. I looked, and all of a sudden I was like, oh God. Matt was trying to eat. We were having seafood, crab legs, stuff like that, and he just hit him.
Oh my God. I love it. But yeah, like I was saying, so when it comes to March, us sports fans come down with probably a sickness that we actually enjoy, being March Madness, baby.
Yes, one of my favorite times.
Aside from baseball, absolutely, I couldn't agree more. However, there's talks in the work about wanting to expand the tournament. No number has been set in stone. But should the NCAA expand the tournament from 68 teams?
So what they're thinking is they're looking at all these tournaments like the NIT, which has never been more popular, right? And then
that's a championship tournament on its own too.
Right, exactly. And they got the CIT, CIB, the popularity of the conference championships. And really what they've noticed here is there's a lot of good teams out there. And like we said before, the last 4 years, they've shortened the game. So we're seeing a lot of these upsets, right? Mm-hmm. And now a lot of schools are like, hey, we want our shot. We want to make money. We got these basketball programs. We're not allowed to do anything because their name's St. Bonaventure. Like, we're not making it. And I think what they're thinking here is, you expand that field, right? Basketball is something you could play 2-3 games a day if you really wanted to. There's not a lot of risk of injury.
Right.
So they're thinking they just make this massive tournament. And then, you get your St. Bonaventures, your Citadel, your Furman, everybody gets in, everybody gets a shot to play, right?
Right.
The only, and I get it, it's all about money, but the only thing is, then what's the point of the regular season? Because that's what we've been doing all season anyway.
Yeah. And then, hell, like, I think I heard something about, like, trying to include the runner-ups of the conference championships. Like, what's the point of even that?
Right. There's no point at all. So, like, you have a lot of times where you have a team like Georgia who, wins 9 games, and then they come in second, and, they get to the conference championship and they get blown out. Like, why the heck would you want to put them in the tournament to watch them get beat down by Duke by 50 points? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather see St. Bonaventure, a team that won 22 games. Like, let's let them in.
Yeah.
They played a good schedule, and, Georgia has no business being in the NCAA tournament. Like, you want to get there and do better. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, the one thing I heard on ESPN radio, one of the co-hosts on the Mike Greenberg show, it's a great show, but at the same time, it's like, yo, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You sound stupid. You sound insane. Put me on that show. I'll bury each and every one of you more times than The Undertaker was buried throughout his entire career. Anyways, so one of the co-hosts was talking about, like, oh, hey, well, I think the tournament should be expanded to over 100 teams. And it was like, okay, so you're talking about including the runner-ups and the conference championships and some YMCA schools. Obviously, Fairleigh Dickinson being one of those fucking schools. And he was like, oh, no, the top 16 teams would get a day off before they face the teams in round 100 or fucking whatever. Right. And then I'm thinking, the more I thought about it, the more it was like, well, no, you're making it seem like this is going to be the format for what the baseball playoffs already are. The best teams in each division of the National and American League get a day off until somebody from Card and NL. And then, well, God forbid, like the Diamondbacks did to the Dodgers. They fucking swept them, and everybody had a problem with how the baseball playoffs are. Like, I don't see the point of expanding the tournament from 68 teams to 100 plus. It's stupid. Now, you could argue, oh, well, you wouldn't be saying that in 1985. Yeah, no shit. Because 60 plus teams is enough. We see plenty of Cinderella stories going into the March Madness tournament. We even get the classic 5 versus 12 seed, and the 12 seed taking out the 5 seed.
Right. And you know, they have a lot of missed opportunities here, like the NIT, right? You take the NIT, and let's just say you have these play-in games. So say you take the NIT, the winner of the NIT automatically gets an 8 seed, right? Because these are a bunch of fringe teams that didn't make it, but were good.
Yeah.
So if you take the NIT and you make the winner and you give them an 8 seed, I mean, then they got something to play for, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it's really good. That's where it's really good right there, because the NIT's fun. Like, I remember South Carolina won back-to-back NITs, 2001, 2002. I can't really remember. And it was really cool. It was really cool to watch them win that. And so if you were to take the winner of teams that think they should have been there, let them win the NIT, go in as a number 8 seed. Like, you have opportunities to do fun things. You can't just put 100 teams in there, because it makes the regular season just no point. Why are we playing it? Why don't we just play a whole year of tournaments? You know, because that's what you're expanding for. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Money wise is the only thing, but I mean, like, you can get that in other ways.
I couldn't agree more. But I've been seeing this man sitting backstage. He's big, he's spicy, and he's got some big spicy takes. Please welcome Spicy Big Mac. What it do, baby?
What's going on? What's going on? I know I was a couple minutes late trying to get the kids to, calm down and shit.
We already got somebody on Kid Patrol right now.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so we're just gonna quickly run through the first 3 topics that Mr. Anderson and myself had been discussing. So I don't think I've ever seen a bigger crybaby going into this year's NFL draft than Caleb Williams. Something was leaked online, or something was put out online, that Justin Fields, an Ohio State quarterback, keep in mind, prefers LeBron James over Michael Jordan as the greatest NBA player of all time. And Justin Fields plays in Chicago. All of a sudden, Caleb Williams has a change of heart, and he's like, well, you know what? I like MJ. I like Walter Payton. Oh, and I also like Deep Dish. I really hope that Chicago drafts me. And this is coming from the same dude that was like, well, no, I want to go to Washington because my old USC head coach is the new offensive coordinator there. And on top of that, I don't want to waste my time selling myself by doing a throwing day at the combine. So should the Bears really consider trading Justin Fields and drafting Caleb Williams?
I mean, like I said, I feel like Caleb Williams isn't worth any pick in the draft. I mean, no offense. That's for me. If I'm looking for a quarterback, I'm sorry, I just don't like his play. I don't like the system that he was in. I don't like his thought process that I've seen him at USC. I'm sorry. Like, I see Andrew give me the Aggo eye, and it's just like, I'm sorry. He gives me no confidence, none.
The 2 years that he was at USC, he went 19-8. If he's supposed to be that good, that transcendent, he would have had at least 2-3 losses throughout the entire time that he was at USC. And he wouldn't have lost to Tulane.
I mean, and see, my whole thing is, again, I'm not going to act like I've watched 10 or more of his games. I haven't. I've only watched him play 3 times.
Yeah.
But watching him play 3 times, like, again, he seemed very pedestrian.
Well, I mean, you got a guy that's in Lincoln Riley's system and they're putting up 40 points a game and they're losing 5 of them. It's hard to put that on his shoulders, is I guess where I'm at in that, because USC's offense was doing work. I mean, they were doing business, but their
Yeah, they
defense
were.
was god awful. So, I mean, I'd be willing to give him a shot. I mean, I'm not ready to bury him and say that he's not worth a pick. Do I think he's the number 1 overall pick? I'm with you on this, Mac. I think he should slip down the draft. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the draft, but he's certainly worthy of a pick. I mean,
for me, again, if we're talking first round. We're talking first round. Okay,
Yeah.
I should have said that first round pick, not any pick. But
I was like, wow.
That's my whole point. My whole point is it's just like it doesn't matter what team I'm going for. He literally, like, you're talking about 5 quarterbacks off the board before I'd be in real thought of, well, Caleb Williams. Like, I like Radler. I like Radler more than I like Williams.
I do too. Matter of fact, NFL
I like Bo Nix.
came
I
out
like Bo
today.
Nix more than I like Caleb
I
Williams.
trust Michael Penix Jr. more than I trust Caleb Williams.
Well, Michael Penix Jr. for me, as far as like you're looking at career trajectory, I like Penix Jr. more than I like anybody else in this draft. Now, mind you, I watched I think 4 of his games this year. Again, like you're talking about in total, I watched college more this year than I ever have in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? Because doing the show with these guys and talking about college football and me not really knowing shit, so I have to watch. So, I'm picking and choosing what games I'm watching on Saturday while I'm at work. You know what I mean?
No, completely understandable.
So for me, it was just like I got small doses of multiple quarterbacks. And again, for me, it was just sitting there thinking like, bro, they're really going to take this guy number 1 overall. Like, I feel like this is Kyler Murray all over again.
Yeah, it's really essentially a waste of a draft pick or a number 1 draft pick.
So Michael Penix Jr. is phenomenal, right? He should have won the Heisman over Daniels, and I'll stand on that to the day I die. He really should have. Had he played in the SEC, he would have the Heisman, but that's a different story. But I honestly, like, it looks like based on these combines and all that, the sleeper of the draft is going to be Bo Nix. I think he's going to be the best quarterback out of this draft when it's all said and done, and I think Rattler's going to be number 2. I think Daniels is going to be a bust. I think Caleb Williams is going to be fine. He's going to be a good quarterback. I think Michael Penix Jr.
I think he'll be mid.
I think Michael Penix Jr. will be very Kirk Cousins like when it comes down to it. He'll get his money, but I think Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler are going to be the jewels of this draft.
Yeah, they're going to be the diamonds in the rough.
Right. And if I'm the Bears and you trade Fields to Atlanta, you get the number 1 pick and the number 8 pick. You don't have to take Caleb Williams anymore. You could pick Marvin Harrison Jr. up at number 1. And then if Caleb Williams goes, which he probably will, you still got Penix Jr. out there. You still got Jaden Daniel. You still got Bo Nix. I mean, if I'm the Bears, I'm passing on Caleb Williams simply because the dude refuses to release his medical records. Like that right there alone is a red flag.
And he really said, oh, well, you know what? I'm not going to waste – why would I waste my time doing a throwing? Which is understandable because the last quarterback that we saw have a pro day with the media was Zach Wilson. Dude launched 1 pass and went number 2 overall in the 2021 draft. Look how – now, granted, Zach Wilson went into a bad situation for the New York Jets.
Zach Wilson is a fucking joker. I mean, he is not good. He's very popular because of his mom or whatever. But at the end of the day, he come out and he demanded a trade from the Jets, right? And the Jets.
Well, yeah, like, okay. I mean, look at what McCole Hardman said about the Jets and how they operate. Like, it's just, I'm in this state of mind. Nobody's gonna. It's everybody versus everybody.
Matt missed the first the first few minutes. The boy was on the show, Mac,
Yes,
acting a
sir.
straight fool, but he's passed out now. But Zach Wilson demanding a trade like he's Peyton Manning is laughable to me, because you can have the trade, the Jets said, but if you're another NFL team, are you willing to trade anything for Zach Wilson right now?
I mean, I wouldn't trade anything for Zach Wilson right now, but at the same time, like, I'm really sticking to what McCall Hardman said about like how the Jets operate. It's essentially everybody versus everybody, and it's like, well, this is my mentality. I believe I'm right. No, this is my mentality, and I believe I'm right. And
I
he
just
goes to the
imagine
Chiefs
being a
and he
Jets
catches the
fan.
game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Just imagine being a Jets fan. I mean, you've had
I
all
know.
these shitty years. You get Aaron Rodgers, hope is renewed. Like
Yeah.
you got a shot, and
Haven't done
then
anything since
hurt.
back-to-back AFC championship appearances in 2009, 2010,
Right.
and then you've sucked since then. Like you said, all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers comes to the team.
Yeah.
There's a sudden gleam of hope.
Right.
So I will tell you, my buddy John, who's the Ohio State fan, okay, he's a Jets fan, okay, and when I tell you, as soon as they got him, he was like, okay, great. Now, how many games is he going to stay healthy?
Yeah.
That was literally the first thing he said after they got Rodgers and it was done. It was signed. He said, well, how many games is he going to play? And I'll tell you whether we're going to go to the playoffs or not. And it wasn't even one.
Well,
At most 5 plays in.
I mean, yeah, he got hurt, and it was bad. Like, it could have happened to anybody, and I'm not going to deny any of that. But he spent his whole offseason eating mushrooms and shit and getting back to nature, and he told everybody he did that. He wasn't practicing. He wasn't training. It's probably why he got hurt. The NFL isn't a joke. I mean, like, these people, like, it's real grind time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you spent your offseason, like, hippieing it out and dropping acid and shit, I mean, like
This
if I'm the
isn't
Jets,
Woodstock of the 60s anymore.
if I'm the Jets, I'm pissed. I just gave
Oh,
you $40 million and you out there fucking eating mushrooms and shit. No, man. I want my money back. Go
There's
do
a
something
fucking
else.
reason that Mike Tannenbaum got fired when he was the GM of the Jets.
Right. That shit was crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm not put hands on Aaron Rodgers after I gave you $40 million. Now I'm stuck with Zach Wilson. Come here.
Look,
Like,
I would rather have Zach Wilson over guys like Trevor Simeon and who was the guy? Chad Boyle or fucking something Boyle. The dude threw a 99-yard pick six to the fucking Dolphins of all teams.
The Jets are never going to be anything because of the way the organization is.
They haven't been anything since they won the Super Bowl when Joe Namath was under center.
No, they haven't. And they ruined Mark Sanchez's career. We can say what we want about the butt fumble and all that, but the guy had a shot at something special.
Oh yeah, and he had pieces around him too.
He did. They had the opportunity, and the Jets just jetted. I mean that. I don't know what else to say. That's just how it went for them. And I don't ever take the Jets serious ever.
No, it really is hard to take the Jets serious, and that's why the Giants run New York. Granted, both teams play in New Jersey, but the two words before the team are New York.
Right. And the Giants you have to take serious. You just never know. Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler, Eli Manning. I mean, every once in a while, the Giants will sneak up and just grab them a trophy and then go back to mediocrity for 20 years.
That's unfortunately the case.
Look,
if I'm head coach Brian Dable, if the Giants do draft another quarterback and they have Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, we'll say they get Drake May in the draft. And then they also keep Tommy DeVito because God forbid that fucking Italian kid kept their hopes alive for 3 fucking weeks. I'm having all of those quarterbacks battle it out. Like, oh, you want the starting position? Who wants it the most?
I don't see how you don't start Daniel Jones. I get it. Like I had a couple back, but like consistently over his career, he's been better than he has not been. And especially if you could just get the guy, like why you wouldn't run more quarterback runs with him when he's outrunning like free safeties and shit out there. Like the guy's running 27 miles an hour. Do something with that. Like why you got him throwing shit downfield like he's Peyton Manning? He ain't Peyton Manning. Stop that shit. Use his weaponry. You know, his weaponry is like running. But you know what? Like I guess that's why the Giants are who they are right now. I would not want Daniel Jones in Atlanta out there throwing fucking 25, 35-yard passes every other. Like, it don't make no sense. I like Daniel Jones and he's fast and he can run, but he's not Lamar Jackson out there. Like, I don't trust him to throw the ball downfield. I trust Lamar Jackson to throw the ball downfield. Ain't no way I'm trusting Daniel Jones to throw the ball downfield. but he's better than Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, so Big Mac. Every now and again we get some good games where it's like it's the closing seconds, you know, throw an inbound pass and you just heave it up, thinking that you just heave up a full court shot, thinking that it's going to go in. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. In Cleveland's case, when they played Dallas a few days ago, it went in.
I bet on Cleveland. I won $135 off a $5 bet. Cleveland was the first parlay to hit.
Now, Max Strus, where the fuck have you been since the playoffs when you played for the Miami Heat?
Bro, I thought this guy
obviously he wants to start showing out.
Like how he hasn't been more of a regular rotational player. Like as far as like my man is a solid bucket if you get him looks, but I mean, bro, coming off the bench and then you don't even give him looks half the time. Like I've seen the Cavaliers play a couple times this year, and don't get me wrong, like them in Minnesota, the scariest thing about them too is they both have twin towers. Okay, right. They both have twin towers, and that's what makes it scary. Having Evan Mobley and having Allen is scary. Okay, having Gobert,
Jared Allen is a man amongst boys. That dude is scary.
Yeah, and then again, having Cat and having Gobert with Minnesota, like, you know, you got the Twin Towers. Like, that is tough.
Mm-hmm.
That is tough.
Yeah, and right now, so Cleveland is currently sitting at 38-20, and they are the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Do you think that they have, like, everything put together to be a serious sleeper team in the Eastern Conference to make a run?
I mean, I wouldn't even call them a sleeper team because, I mean, anybody who knows basketball knows Cleveland is having a great year. Like, and then if you, like I said.
Well, I mean, they're just being so overshadowed by the Boston Celtics right now.
I mean, yes and no. See, my whole thing is, it's again, Boston has choked repeatedly in the playoffs, okay? And I don't know why, I don't know how, but again, if for any reason these two teams match up in the playoffs, it's going to be fucking scary. It's going to be scary because I tell you, if there's any team in the East that could push Boston to its limits, it would be Cleveland.
Yeah, I could really see that. I mean,
I thought the Knicks were going to be a good team and they'd be viable in the playoffs, but with the injuries and shit, like, no, they're just not. They're not there all the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could argue Milwaukee, but Doc Rivers just continuously gets in the way.
Milwaukee is Milwaukee. Milwaukee will be in the playoffs. They will get. They should get past the first round, depending on who they. Now, will they go deep into the playoffs? I don't think they get out of the second round. I don't get it. Like again. I think we talked about this before. If Damian Lillard isn't, playing Damian Lillard basketball with Giannis and the rest of the team, like, I'm sorry. For me, again, it's to the point to where I just don't believe that they have the power.
Right. No, absolutely. And one thing you do need is a big man just essentially being Shaq down low when he was with the Lakers. You need that bully, and but unfortunately for the Bucks, just Doc Rivers continues to gets in the way. Um, but what is a sleeper finals that you would love to see? Like everything put aside, what is a sleeper finals you would like to see?
Oh man. I would like to see probably it would be Cleveland and Minnesota.
That would be a good
Oh,
one.
Like
yeah.
and speaking of both of them teams, I mean, yeah, because you're talking about two teams that are very evenly matched. They
Mm-hmm.
have superstar power at each of the positions. Again, big guy to match big guy like that. That would be something to watch because you know it would go at least 6 games.
Another finals I would really like to see Cleveland versus there was a dude not too long ago that made a bet parlay. He had the Texas Rangers, the Kansas City Chiefs winning the titles. Kansas City Chiefs and Texas Rangers have already done that. He has the OKC Thunder winning the NBA Finals. I would love to see that matchup and honestly love to see the OKC Thunder win the title. Just this dude put a bet $100, and if everything works out in his favor, he will win $1.7 million on this bet.
I feel really sad for him that he came so close and yet he's not going to get it. The Thunder are not winning the title. Good team, but
Mhm.
they're not gonna get through Denver. I can't see it.
They're too young.
Yeah,
They're too
yeah,
young.
for sure.
That's literally the only thing with OKC is just like the guys that they got out there are just they're too young. Chet is like he still has another year or two before he fully becomes himself.
Yeah.
Like
And
uh,
the kid needs to put on some serious fucking muscle if he wants to bully Jokic too.
yeah, I mean, again, like I said, we'll see how the next couple of years go. Like that's the best thing that I had that we have is that the future is promising. Is you got young guys, you got Chet, you got fucking Victor, you know what I mean. You have a bunch of these guys that are still in their prime, like Jokic. Jokic is still going to play another 3 to 5 years.
Mhm.
Doncic,
Yes.
Doncic is going to play at least another 10 years.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Oh
We're
yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of good faces in the NBA that can really step up and be the new face when LeBron steps down.
So, do you think that the Milwaukee Bucks regret not sending that third round pick to Atlanta for Clint Capella right now? Like a third round pick for Clint Capella. You put Clint Capella in there, big man. Like, why would you not do that? Like, I mean, as a Hawks fan, I'm relieved because he's good, but like a third round pick,
I don't
like
I don't think he would have paired well with Giannis.
I
I
think he would.
just because like Clint Capella, I'm sorry, he's a soft big man. He's a
Mm.
soft big man.
The
Like
thing about Capella is he's gonna get you 10 and 10, right? And then he's gonna play defense.
no. As a betting man, I can tell you that is the problem with Capella is because he can't get you 10 and 10.
Ooh.
He
Like
he, he consistently gets 10 and 10, more often than not. Now, if you're betting on him to do it every day, yeah, you're not going to get that.
No,
But
I mean, listen. He has lost me single handedly multiple parlays because I'd take him for 8 rebounds and he'd get fucking 5. I'd take him for 6 rebounds, he gets 4.
well, the problem last year is they had John Collins too, right?
No,
And
no,
John
I'm talking
Collins,
this year. I'm talking this year when he
well,
was playing.
he's not playing as much this year either because they're swapping in OO, right? So that's the problem this year. Excuse me one second. My calling.
It's all
Put
good.
this on mute.
It's all good. But yeah, so we're gonna stay on the topic of basketball. And just before you came on, myself and Mr. Anderson over here. So it is that time of year again for us sports fans. Why? Because March has started. It is that time of year where we come down with a serious sickness. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm not talking about the plague. I'm not talking about swine flu or anything like that. I'm talking about the greatest sports fever of all time. March Madness, baby. Now, March Madness is on the horizon. I cannot wait. I can't wait to fill out a bracket. I can't wait to see what teams make a Cinderella run. However, there's talks in the work about wanting to expand the tournament. No new number has been set in stone, and or what the bracket should look like.
Is 68 not enough?
Apparently, it isn't. So, should the NCAA expand the tournament from 68 teams?
No, I no. I think
completely agree.
We said the same thing.
As it is. Like again, and it's that old saying: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right?
It ain't broke. It's not broke.
Yeah, and
It's
look,
not.
I listen to ESPN radio a lot. I listen to Mike Greenberg. They have a lot of good takes on that show. Some are good, some are bad, some are downright idiotic to the point where it makes me think, are y'all dumb or just plain fucking stupid at this point? But one of the co-hosts was saying, hey, let's expand the tournament to 100 plus fucking teams for God knows whatever fucking reason. Hey, let's include the fact that the runner-ups in the conference championships leading up to the March Madness tournament are also going to be the teams that are going to be in the 100 plus field before we go down to 68 or 64. And then let's get some YMCA schools, because why not? Because the last time we saw a YMCA school take down a serious contender in the March Madness tournament was Fairleigh Dickinson, who literally has a YMCA rec center type of college basketball stadium, when they beat Purdue in March Madness of all the tournaments.
Well, I think the current format is fine.
Yes.
Like I said, the conference tournaments, the NIT, the CIT, the CBI, they're all very popular. And of course, the NCAA is like, well, we don't run that tournament. We don't run the NIT. It's a separate entity. We don't run the CBI. And they're making all this money. How can we take this money from them?
Yeah.
And that's what they're thinking. But, people will watch the NIT. Say you take those teams in the NIT that are going. Well, now you got Furman and you got like Georgia. I mean, you're still putting big names in there that otherwise wouldn't go to NIT. And those fans are still big fans. Like, you're not going to kill the NIT. Doesn't matter what you do. What you're going to do is bore people to death. As much as I love the tournament, I'm not watching 462 games to see who wins it all. I'm just not doing it. I'll wait till it dwindles down to 32 again, and then I'll watch from there. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just not watching 400 games.
Hell, last year I was watching the tournament and I saw Miami and Florida Atlantic University make a run to the Final Four. I was praying to St. Michael that I was gonna witness a South Beach showdown. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But it was like 6 years ago that UMBC, a 16th ranked team going into the tournament, took out number 1 Virginia. Where the hell is UMBC?
So they took out Virginia because Virginia came into the tournament as the defending national champions that year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. And I guess they thought that we're just going to sell back to another one. However, with the new NCAA rules and shortening the game, like, it really gives these other teams a chance. And we really saw that year that shortening I'm a fan of shortening the games because, if you just have, because they're just going to bust their ass like they did all these years. But now that there's parity, right? So I'm a big fan of. So South Carolina's 23-5 this year, right? Because they play good defense.
Yeah.
If the new rules aren't there, South Carolina is not 23-5 because the games aren't short and the defense isn't winning games. So it really works out well for my team right now. And that's just the fact of the matter. I love it because I said all year South Carolina has no business winning these games. And as a Gamecock fan, I stand behind that because I see what we recruit. I know the teams. But the shortening the games and playing defense like we play it is really giving us a shot to come out here. And that's really great because that's all that's going to do for these teams is up recruiting. Like, oh, okay, well, this coach is a good coach. Look what he's doing with all this lesser talent, right? So I'm here for it. I'm just not here for 400 games.
No, absolutely not.
There's still only going to be a handful of teams, just like the college football playoff, like we talked about last night, that can be capable of winning it. 5 teams that are really going to be capable of winning it. Why do we need 400 games? No, it's ridiculous. 68 teams is more than enough.
Yeah. I mean, look, even if we expand the tournament to 100+ games, we're talking about starting the tournament on the 15th or between the 11th and 15th of March. Like, no, I'm not all for it. Let's start the tournament in the 3rd week of March, and then it's over by the end of March, and then we can focus on baseball season. We're going to get to baseball season in a sec. I got a video that you personally sent me, and I can't wait. But no, Big Mac, what you got to say about wanting to, thinking about expanding the tournament?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no reason. There's just no reason. Like, for me, it's like, what do they call that? It's a dead issue.
Yeah.
It's a dead issue.
People are going to watch it. They love it. They love the NCAA tournament. It's their favorite time of year. It's worked ever since I was a little boy watching it. Like, why are you going to mess with it? Leave it alone. Like, the formula is right. Like, very rarely in sports, even in pro sports and everything, is the formula right. The formula is right, and it has been right forever. Like,
and we see so many unbelievable fucking Cinderella stories.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of the tournament when it comes to 68 teams.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for commenting.
That's my part of my leadership of the military. What's going on, Sergeant? Happy to have you on here, and I'm glad you can comment, baby. Oh boy.
Everybody sit up straight. Sit up straight.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling intimidated. I'm starting to have flashbacks of.
But yeah, speaking of basketball, look, one thing that is big in basketball is storming the court. We see it a lot. It happens quite a lot. And last weekend, 8th ranked Duke at the time when they were ranked 8th went into unranked Wake Forest. Wake Forest would actually end up beating. All of us are ready for baseball, Sergeant. I can promise you that we're ready for baseball. We're going to get into that next. Anyway, so unranked Wake Forest would actually end up beating 8th ranked Duke. Wake Forest fans stormed the court, and Duke center Kyle Filipowski would end up getting injured in the process and carried off the court. So, in a way, Duke kind of had a problem with it. It's kind of ironic. I didn't see Duke having a problem storming the field in week 1 of college football when they took down Clemson, when Clemson was ranked. I get it. A football field is bigger than a basketball court. I get it. It's understandable. But is storming the court for big wins an unruly celebration or a fun tradition?
So here's the 2 things that I'll mention. One, it's a fun tradition. Don't take it away. However, this year we also seen Caitlin Clark, who is the face of women's basketball, right? Even though the Gamecocks are the best team, Caitlin Clark is the biggest star, right?
Yeah.
She also got knocked down by a fan. That happened earlier in the year when I think maybe Indiana beat them or whatever. But I saw on another podcast, the Golden Boot last night, or maybe it was a short. I don't know. They had a really good idea. Like you put a 1 minute clock up there. Like storm the court's fine. You got to wait 1 minute to let them get off the field, and there's a timer. You know, you got the big scoreboard up top. You wait the 1 minute, then you can storm the field, let the players get off. Except you know the home. I mean the home team would stay out there and celebrate with the fans, and I think that's a good thing. I think you should let them. However, the fact that these players are getting knocked down is starting to become a problem.
Yes.
You know, could you imagine, you know, a big victory and then Caitlin Clark gets her ACL torn, now her whole career's gone. I like the timer idea that they came up with on the Golden Boot. I think it's a good one, but don't stop it, man. I have personally been on basketball games where we have upset people and I've been on the court. It's so much fun interacting with the players and coaches. But put that timer up there. Hey guys, anybody crosses, make the announcement. Anybody crosses this line, but you know, when it gets close to the end, before the minute, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
You know, and then
what's the timer set at?
1 minute.
Like, 1 minute? Okay.
I was 1 minute.
Wait at least 30 seconds before storming the court. Like, I get it. You know, you want to celebrate with the team. You get a big win over a ranked team when you're unranked. Like, completely understandable.
Now, I mean, okay, so I don't know about the whole go to jail thing, okay? I mean, let's
gotta be accountability.
What do you? I mean, are you really gonna lock up fucking 10,000 people?
No, they're gonna need the entire.
What facility has facilities enough to be able to arrest and move that many people, and like that's what I'm saying.
Well, here's
like,
the thing.
Wrong. I get the severity behind it. You want it to be severe. You want it to be attention. Get it like yes, understand. Don't do this. But again, to that severity, I don't know. But I mean, suspension. You know what I mean? Shit like that, especially for college kids. Like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? You could be suspended.
Yeah, but these aren't just college kids. These are 40-year-old dudes rushing the court.
Well, I'm talking about, but again, that's, like I said, when you're talking about over 1,000 people, once you get over 1,000 people, that's where it gets scary.
Correct. Well, here's the thing. If you make the announcement and you tell people they're going to go to jail, 99% of those people are going to listen. So the ones and twos that do rush the court when they're not before the 30-second limit, you can snatch them. Now, if you have 1,000 people rushing the court, your security, you tuck your hands in and you let them go. I mean, I'm with you. Like, I ain't trying to stop all these people. But, I mean, you have to get the attention grabber, like you said. Hey, look, this is not okay. This is not okay behavior. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're right. 1,000 people start rushing the court. All you can do is tuck your hands in your pocket and wish them good luck.
Yep. No, listen, I've worked enough event security. I've been a stagehand for years. Like, bro, when you're talking really honestly, any more than 200 people, like 200 people can move.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
that's a lot of. I don't give a fuck. You could have 2 football teams,
right?
Standing, you know, back to back. You know what I mean? Like one right behind the other, and 200 people come running, bro. You're getting ready to fuck over.
It's a college version of the Malice at the Palace,
right?
Like you're going to be so low step that you're trying to arrest people left and right.
Yeah. I mean, they couldn't even stop Ron Artest from going into the crowd and swinging on a fan. I mean, like, they ain't stopping 200 people.
Listen, and I'm happy they didn't. The footage from that shit was,
oh my god, the Netflix documentary of that one moment. Just, it is so beautiful. If you haven't seen it on Netflix, I highly suggest watching it. It is just so well put together.
I mean, I love when Dennis Rodman kicked the cameraman. Y'all are too young to remember that, but I was watching that game live. Now, he tripped over the cameraman. The cameraman didn't move his foot, didn't do nothing. The cameraman was sitting where he sat the whole game. Dennis Rodman tripped over him, gets mad, kicks the shit out of him, gets up, runs back on the court. It was great. Like, I absolutely love Dennis Rodman.
Oh, God. Oh my God. Well, usually with basketball, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we've seen what happens when Dennis Rodman has stepped on the court. We've seen what happens when Draymond Green stepped on the court. We even saw what happened when the bad boy Pistons stepped on the court.
Or
But
Charles Barkley.
but unlike The Rock, I'm not smelling what he's cooking. I'm smelling something different. It's not what The Rock's cooking. It's not March Madness. That's it. Baseball's in the air, baby! Oh, my God. Now, I get it. We're in spring training. And Shohei Ohtani is now, he's still in LA, but he's in Tinseltown with the LA Dodgers. In his spring training debut, Shohei Ohtani hit a home run coming off of Tommy John surgery. Now, is it really that big a deal that he hit a home run coming off of Tommy John surgery in spring training, or should we wait and see what happens when the regular season comes around?
Well, it's really fucking stupid that you paid somebody $200 million who had Tommy John surgery. He's out there in spring training taking batting practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that makes no fucking sense. Like,
Yeah.
Stop the it's cool that he's doing it, but I mean, like, you just paid this guy the farm. Like, stop it. Let him rehab. Don't have him out there for a show. I guess it's impressive, yes. To answer your question, I'm not trying to deviate. Yes, it is impressive. However, like, stop the mat. I mean, didn't they get this guy really like $700 million? Didn't I just shortchange that?
10 years, $700 million. And it was so hard to understand what ESPN, the MLB network, and even social media was talking about when he hit the said home run, due to their giant throbbing erection, because Ohtani hit a home run during spring training. Get your heads out of your asses, people. It is spring training. Cool. He hit a home run. Let's see what happens during the regular season, because you know what's going to happen with the LA Dodgers in a 162-game season. They're going to choke in the playoffs like they always do.
Then what happened if he threw his elbow out? I just don't get it. Like, I don't know why he's out there. I mean, you got Freddie Freeman. Like, you want to impress with some home runs? Like, that, just put that guy out there. Put some
give him a mic, and we'll see. There's Wing Boys 2.0.
So I agree with both of you, and I think I'm literally right in the fucking middle, because I'm happy to see that he's swinging. And he's swinging with ease, and he's swinging with power with ease.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I watched a bunch of videos of Ohtani hitting batting practice. I seen the clip of the home run. For me, it's very promising.
Yes.
Well, do I feel like, he's not really in a rush, so you don't really have to rush him in. It's the beginning of spring training, but again, it's the fact that he's healthy. He's swinging. He looks natural. He's looking terrific, and that's I'm happy about that. But at the same time, like, hey, you should we've seen him. Let him take off a couple days, and then if you want to bring him back up again, I just move him along sparingly.
Yes,
but I'm happy to see that he's fucking hitting, baby. Listen,
I mean, look, this is, in my opinion, this is a true definition of a freak of nature. I believe Bryce Harper also had Tommy John surgery. Usually that's a year off. This man came back within 6 to 8 months and was taking swings and hitting balls like he didn't miss a step.
Well, let's just go ahead and throw this out there. So while that's important, so Ronald Acuna Jr., who is the Braves franchise player now that Freddie Freeman's gone, I don't think anybody would argue that, was out there before the game running drills in a spring training game and injured himself. I don't know if y'all heard this news. He's injured.
Acuna?
Running sprint, yes, today. Running sprints, got scratched before the game today. So that's just like, it makes no sense to me. I just, Otani 700 million. That's where I'm coming from. Yeah. Ronald Acuna Jr. is injured. I ain't got nothing. The Braves lost today in spring training. We played 72 people. I don't know if you saw the scorecard. Like, everybody got a hit today. It was like an Oprah Winfrey show. But but he's hurt. He's hurt because he's playing a spring training game. I guess it hit home today where I was like, Acuna doesn't need to fucking be out there.
Right. Well, hey, you know what? We got until the end of the month until opening day starts. Depending on how serious the injury is for Acuna,
I was about to ask what was it? What's the injury?
Like, what's the timetable?
Right now, they're saying that he has right knee soreness. He will be reevaluated tomorrow. That's all I got so far.
Okay. Well, look, depending on how serious the injury is and what the timetable is, if he's able to come back, the Braves are still in the mix. They still have a great roster put together. They got a great pitching rotation too, led by Spencer Strider.
Well, we won the World Series without him that year because he got injured and he didn't play. But we don't have Freddie Freeman now, but we do have Matt Olson.
I was going to say, unfortunately, Freddie Freeman was the leading man in 2021. But speaking of winning the World Series and speaking of leading men, oh God, there's nothing like watching your team winning the World Series. And thank you, Mister, for sending me this video because
who's that man? Brian Snicker. He look mad as shit. Well, he's 1 out away from winning the World Series. Oh God. Oh God! Oh my God! Oh, yes! Yes! I think they won.
I didn't even watch this video.
So the last time the Braves won the World Series, I was 14. So this was a big deal. I told y'all, I'm 40 years old and I'm just like, I love sports that much. And my team just captured the championship. And my son's asking stupid questions like, why is Brian Snitker look nervous? Because he's an out away from the World Series. I love my son. He's 21 now, so I can call him stupid. But, but that was so much fun that day, man. I was just having a blast.
Oh, man, let me tell you, that was my exact reaction when I saw the Cubs win the World Series in 2016 and saw the Yankees win the World Series in 2009. I mean, like Brad Pitt said in the movie Moneyball, who says you can't be romantic when it comes to baseball? Huh? That is the beauty of the sport.
Baseball is the best sport.
It really is.
Live for a World Series win for my team. Unfortunately, thank God for the Ravens.
Hey, Baltimore is going to get there. They have a very young and hungry team, but
not this year. But they got me a lot more than any other team I have. So,
man.
Yeah. So we got to talk about MLB expectations going into the 2024 season. We're going to go division by division and National League and American League. So we're going to start in the SEC of baseball being the AL East. We're going to start with all the teams, the Yankees, the Rays, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox. What are the expectations? What are y'all's expectations for those teams?
If the Yankees don't win the East, they need to start looking at some changes. They have the best team.
Yes.
Now with
if they can stay healthy too.
If they can stay healthy, you can't really fault anybody if everybody's hurt. But the Yankees should win this. The Orioles and the Rays should come up real close after. The Red Sox are just they're done. Like I'm not really sure what I know they're rebuilding or whatever you want to call it, but if anybody besides the Yankees win the East, I will really be shocked. I'm not saying the Orioles and the Rays aren't great teams, because the AL East may get 3 teams in the playoffs, right? Like
Oh, absolutely.
It's a very good possibility. So it's the best division in baseball, but the best team in baseball does not play there.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the Texas Rangers are currently the best team in baseball right now, and they're the World Series champions. And man, oh man, what a season that they had. Of all teams, I wasn't expecting the Rangers to win the World Series.
Me neither.
Oh,
But I'm here for it. They never had a championship before, so I'm good with it. I like to see the little guys win, and they never had. I mean, they've had some ballers. They had Pudge and Nolan Ryan. Like they've had some people, but
did they ever? Look, they had a well put together team, and obviously somebody by the name of Corey Seager, who obviously has World Series experience and a World Series MVP to go along with the other World Series MVP that he won. Yeah. So it's no surprise that looking back that the Rangers won the World Series. So let's move on to the AL Central. We got the Chicago White Sox, the Cleveland Indians. I still call baseball fans still call them the Cleveland Indians because fuck this liberal fucking agenda bullshit. God forbid you're offended by the name the Cleveland Indians. Anyways, the Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals, and Minnesota Twins. Expectations for those teams going into this season?
That is the hardest division in baseball. I think the Twins have the horses to win it, but also I think the Indians / Guardians have the horses to win it. It's such an enigma in the AL Central. I just don't know which team's going to show up. It's the hardest one.
Yeah, it's so bipolar. It's really hard to choose a team of who's going to come out. Right now, in my opinion, I think it's the Minnesota Twins.
I'm going to call the Sox.
Really?
Bro, they played, so they had some promising play last year. They don't look that bad. I mean, it's just one of those teams that, I mean, if they go on a run, they could win. They won last year. They have a good bit coming back. I mean, I'm not going to say like, you know, they're absolutely guaranteed going to win. I'm saying it's my long shot.
Okay. But yeah, I still have
the Tigers. What I mean, like, how Jekyll and Hyde are they?
They're pretty Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, they do have Javier Baez, the man that really swings at anything that comes his way. So my Sergeant First Class is saying that he's got the Indians coming out of the AL Central.
I meant like it would not, if the Indians win the Central, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I'll just put it that way. I wouldn't be either.
If it came down to the Indians and the Twins, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, me neither. That's who I think it comes down to be honest.
Right. No, I completely agree. So let's move on. We are going out west. The Angels, Angels and A's, will just throw them off the table because they're so bad.
Trash.
They're so bad. They're so mediocre. The Angels can't do a goddamn thing with a modern day Mickey Mantle being Mike Trout.
Trade him.
Oh my God. Yeah, trade him or Mike Trout. You need to step up and demand a trade. The fuck is wrong with you, my guy?
It's going to be Texas or Houston. You can call it, flip a coin, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be one of them two, Texas or Houston.
I got Seattle being the dark horse in that division, and
absolutely.
I will fight. They have a well put team. Team put together.
They do, but the Houston Astros are going to make a resurgence this year.
As long as they bring their trash cans.
Regardless, the Astros win this division. I think the Astros win the division, and possibly unless they run into the Yankees, the AL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know though. It's going to be hard for the Astros to get some wins when their daddy, Adolis Garcia, is still on the Rangers. That man, look, legends are born, made, and cemented in the month of October, and Adolis Garcia did just that in the ALDS and ALCS?
It's great. Fantastic. Texas Rangers is a great story. They're not repeating.
No. Oh, yeah. In baseball, it is so hard to repeat.
Very.
The last time you saw repeat teams were the 90s Yankees.
Yes. It's not easy at all.
No, absolutely not. Baseball is chess while other sports are playing checkers.
That's what I tell people when they say, well, the Braves are the best team and they won in 2021. They haven't won because it's not fucking easy. Like,
No.
I don't know what else to tell you. The shit's hard.
Baseball is a marathon.
It is.
And
I love baseball.
And speaking of marathons, there's one team. So we're going to move on to the National League. There's one team in the NL East that comes out the gate, guns up blazing, and that is the New York Mets. I don't see them doing anything anytime soon because the last 2 out of the 3 years they have had first place for 100+ days and choked it away. So they're off the table.
Well,
Washington,
they're off the table already. They traded away everybody. They ain't got shit no more.
Yeah. Washington, it's sort of a rebuild. They got some great prospects. I've seen their prospects in action. It's a rebuild season for the Washington Nationals, but I really do think that given time, they will get back to that 2019 stage where it was just like they had a spark, they caught lightning in a bottle, and then they won the World Series. But right now, it really boils down to the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I'm going. I think Braves healthy, Braves win. But if not, it's a coin toss between the Braves and the Phillies.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
So, no bias at all here, like at all. The Braves are going to win the East easily.
Yeah.
The Braves are going to win the National League in convincing fashion. And then the Braves are going to bring home the title. All the smoke.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what baseball season leading up to opening day is all about.
Can't wait for baseball. God, I love baseball.
Yeah. Ultimately, for the East, I really see it coming down to the Braves and the Phillies. But much like the AL West, I really see a team like the Miami Marlins being the dark horse in that division.
Yeah.
We're going to move. Say what?
I said they're a very good team, the Marlins. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a – yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're going to move on to the NL Central. This, in my opinion, is going to be the most exciting division in baseball. We got the Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs, who just re-signed Cody Bellinger to a 3-year, $80 million deal. They're already loaded with young talent. Granted, they lost Marcus Stroman to the New York Yankees, but that's a win for a Yankees fan like me. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. The Cincinnati Reds, who are going to be just dynamic throughout this season, because we saw what they did with when they brought up Ellie De La Cruz. That man is exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually taking the Reds. I'm taking the Reds.
Yeah, for me, it's honestly gonna boil down to the Cubs or the Reds.
Wow. So I
like the Cubs. I like the Cubs, but I'm taking the Reds. I'm a betting man. I'm a betting man. You know that's why.
Absolutely.
I love that you're a betting man. You make some money that way and you see things from a different angle. But for me, talent-wise, there's no reason the Brewers lose this division. It is their division to lose.
Well, they lost Craig Counsell, and they were like they won the NL Central for consecutive years. Imagine what Craig Counsell can do with a team like the Cubs.
The Cubs are fantastic. The Reds are fantastic. St. Louis and Pittsburgh isn't really going to factor into it. I think the Brewers
will have mid-seasons.
Right. I think the Brewers come out of here. Now, if the Reds win this division, I'm not going to be shocked, right? If the Cubs win it, I'm not going to be shocked, but I'll be more shocked than the Reds. But I'm just going with the Brewers and until I see different.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so we got the last division, the division that is going to be a war zone amongst war zones.
I think this will be the most exciting race in all of baseball right here. Like, bar none, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, the defending champion Diamondbacks. Like, this shit is gonna be fun out west. Like, I'm a Braves fan and I can't wait to see this. I got no idea.
I'm telling you,
if the Dodgers don't win, like, I just like they have the best team. If the Dodgers don't win, it's a failed season. But with that being said, like, you got the Padres and the Diamondbacks just looming out there, and the Giants. Like, it is going to be fun. Why can't baseball be here now?
I'm telling you. I mean, look, I completely agree. The Dodgers right now are the baseball version of the New York Jets. Look, they signed Shohei Ohtani. They signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Tell me you're Japanese without telling me you're Japanese with a name like that. My God. Anyways,
but he's good.
Look, they assembled the fucking Avengers to at least try and win a World Series when baseball is 162 games long. No. Look, it is World Series, or it is a World Series win type season, or it is a bust for the LA Dodgers. And right now, you have some great young teams, one of them being the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they have the veteran Jock Peterson, who is so excited to work with a team like the Diamondbacks. You have the San Francisco Giants, who, if they stay healthy, can make a serious run in the playoffs and return to the 2010 status that they were once at when they won the World Series in 2010, 2012, and 2014. And then on top of that, the San Diego Padres. I don't have a lot of faith in them because the last thing they did was beat the Padres when they had an 89-win season. Like, all that money spent, and you can barely do anything. But
if the Dodgers don't win it, they start shopping people around.
Absolutely. I mean, trade Freddie Freeman back to the Braves. I'm just saying, I'd like to see him back in a Braves uniform.
They would trade Freddie Freeman for Matt Olson right now, and I'll tell you why. Because Matt Olson hit 52 home runs last year, 132 RBIs. He led the league in both of those stats. I think they would make that trade, right? I just do, because that's what they need. But with that being said, will the Braves make that trade? Freddie kind of shit on him. I don't think so. But I would love to see Freddie come back, like, a lot. Like, I love me some Freddie. However, he did the Braves dirty, not returning their phone calls and then signing in the Dodgers in the middle of the night after he told them he was gonna, but then again, that whole thing was strange because when he came back to Atlanta, got
that was his agent's fault.
Fired his agent the very next day. Something was strange about that whole situation, but
yeah, I even saw it. I was like, wait, Freddie Freeman's going to the Dodgers?
Right.
Why? He said he would love to spend his entire career in Atlanta.
Yes. And he did not. So
zeros.
That guy.
Them zeros, man. Them zeros will get you.
Yeah. Multiple zeros speaks volume.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, look, I'm a Braves fan, right? So even though the offer was that close, I chose the Braves. But if I'm playing for the Braves and the Braves like, I'm going to give you a 2-year deal worth $5 million. Cool, I like that. Like, money, $5 million is a lot of money. And then the Dodgers like, hey, I'm going to give you a 2-year deal worth $200 million. Well, my great-grandchildren just got set, so I'm going to go ahead and sign this contract right now. And I'm a Dodger, baby, so I get it. Because I'm fixing to go for the money too. Because if I can sure my great-grandchildren are going to be taken care of, I have to do that. Like, I have to. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to make that decision.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But, I mean, as far as this MLB season goes, this honestly might be one of the most exciting years for baseball. Yeah, there's a lot of rule changes. The bases are bigger. We got a pitch clock. We got a ghost runner on second going into extra innings.
That's the only thing I don't like. I love the bigger bases. I love the pitch clock. I didn't think I would. I really do like it because – throwing to the bag 400 times, but the ghost runner, that shit's ridiculous. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
This is not fucking PG backyard baseball time.
See, I like.
I mean,
it, though,
look.
if-
Another thing I do love is a universal designated hitter, because that really helps. It's like, oh, the pitcher's coming out to bat. Oh, he's down in 3 strikes, 4 at best. It just keeps the game exciting.
So I'm old. So 90% of my life, 95% of my life, we have always had the pitchers hit, and it's really cool to have the pitchers hit because that's an out. And so it was fun for me. But baseball really needed the scores to go up, bring in the newer. I understand why they did it. As a National League purist, at that, it kind of sticks in my craw, but I'm willing to give that up if they'll make the fucking Ghost Runner go away. Just make it go away.
No, I mean, I'll agree to that. Like, yeah, this isn't backyard baseball. Like, look, let's just start the extra innings.
Right.
Like, nobody on base, and the first batter comes up. Let's go from there.
If you want to do something exciting, give them 4 outs. Once you hit the 10th, everybody gets 4 outs. Like,
okay, in extra innings, I
like that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Ghost Runner, you didn't earn that shit. Like, that shit's insane. Like,
I mean,
I like
it.
I like that shit. It puts pressure on the pitcher. It puts pressure on both teams to make a play.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. It does put pressure on the pitcher and defense.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more interesting. Well, but here's my whole thing. Though, right? So what happens? What happens? He hits the ball and makes a double play. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen where some fucking dumbass will take off and start running because it looks like it's a good shot. Bam! Throw it the first, throw it the third. You know what I mean? Like it happened twice last year that I've seen, and again, I don't know. For me, it makes it more exciting because now you got a pitcher who now you're forced. You can't walk somebody because you walk somebody now you got 2 guys on.
Well, you walk them for the chance for the double play for us. I would get that. But, I mean, if we're doing dumb shit, just start with the bases loaded and extra. Everybody gets bases loaded. Bring them back.
Well, hey, look, thank God they didn't come to that conclusion. And it was just ultimately like, look, let's start with a Ghost Runner on second base going into extra innings, all right? Look, the world is evolving, and baseball did enough to be like, hey, here are some changes we're going to make. We're going to get rid of the rotation, which thank God they did, because it was just so boring. Like, oh, this batter's coming up. Well, we're going to put our second baseman into the short version of outfield of right center. We're going to put our third baseman about 20 feet or where the pitcher mound is from home plate in case he tries to bunt. Like, I mean, I'm kind of glad that they got rid of the shit, because that shit, it was getting boring and it was getting too predictive.
Well, you know what? Banning the shift was smart. That,
yes,
it's really good for defense, but at the end of the day, like, we made these changes to make the score go up, pitch count, runner on second, stuff like that, right? We want higher scores. How you bring in the fans,
yeah,
and like, you put the shift on, ain't nobody getting a fucking hit. Like, that's the problem.
Exactly.
Unless your name's Freddie Freeman and you can place the ball wherever the fuck you want, and they learn not to do the shift on him. I mean, like, everybody else is going to hit it in that shift and it's out. It's just ridiculous. It was a good thing they banned it.
Yeah, no, and I mean, look, like I said, for baseball, we're getting an average hockey night of scoring in baseball. We're getting like 4-3, 5-4, somewhere in that area. And if the pitching is on, we'll get a 2-1 score, but that's fine. Because if the pitching is on, the pitching is on. And that's one of the things that matters when it comes to baseball.
You know what? They like more high score. However, for me, ain't nothing just more exciting than a no-hitter. Nothing.
Yes. Or that, hell, a perfect game.
A perfect game, man. That's the real shit. But even a no-hitter is exciting. I like defense. I like pitching. pitching is what I like the most about baseball. Like I like hitting and scoring runs, all that. But when a pitcher's out there and he's on that night and he's just mowing motherfuckers down, Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire, and ain't nothing they can do against that pitcher that night, that shit is exciting.
Listen, I am so happy that I got to watch Nolan Ryan pitch.
Oh,
okay. I am
oh
old
my
enough.
God, give me a time machine. I would love to see that man pitch.
He pitched your whole childhood, okay?
Yes.
Into your teenage years, into your 20s, okay?
Yes.
I would have loved to see Nolan Ryan. I was so glad to come up with like Greg Maddux, some of the weird pitching, Chad Bradford of the Oakland A's, Orlando Hernandez, Dontrell Willis, like just so many styles of weird pitching, but it worked for whatever reason.
I got to watch them all. Like I'm telling you, man, people make fun of old people, but we get to see some really cool shit that y'all didn't.
Yeah. You got to witness prime Greg Maddux.
Yep.
That man was a different breed. Barry Bonds. Yeah, Barry Bonds, arguably the most dangerous hitter of all time. And a pitcher like Greg Maddux saying it was so easy to pitch against him. What?
Well, it was
easy to pitch against Barry Bonds?
Well, it was predictable for a guy like Greg Maddux because he's going to swing for the fences, right? And Greg Maddux is going to throw your ass an 82-mile-an-hour fastball, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Where's the ball? You know? And then he's going to throw a 91-mile-an-hour changeup, and you're like, how the fuck is this guy doing? You know, Greg Maddux was a genius.
I mean, the numbers for Greg Maddux are just, outside of Nolan Ryan, are unmatched.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. I mean, again, for me, greatest pitcher ever, hands down. Don't give a fuck. It's Nolan Ryan.
Yeah,
Nolan Ryan was the best. You could put him up against. I mean, you can go old timey if you want to.
I mean, Nolan Ryan.
Young, you can go. You know,
he was the toughest pitcher out of everybody.
5,000 strikeouts. 5,000.
And I mean, look, this is how tough Nolan Ryan was. This man took a beamer of a line drive from Bo Jackson and still got like almost 10 strikeouts and finished the inning.
So, interesting side note for Nolan Ryan. He got an average run support of 2 runs a game. So if he would have been in the modern day, he would have won like 200 more games. He actually lost a no-hitter. Like
he probably had double-digit Cy Young awards too.
No, he never won a Cy Young. Never. What? Yeah, that's some bullshit, isn't it? Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young. Completely bullshit. But he once threw a no-hitter and lost the game. Like, I guess it was a couple walks and a wild pitch, and they lost 1-0. That's the kind of shit Nolan Ryan's teams were on.
Oh, my
But no, he never won a Cy Young. He got robbed 2 years.
Them Astro teams were.
When he hit you with the ball, man, you were injured for a week.
Hey, those Texas
learned a lesson.
Too. Don't forget that.
I mean, if you're 5 foot nothing, why are you charging the mound at a man the size of Nolan Ryan? Like, what were you thinking? Like, he just said, okay.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, fuck it. I snorted my free workout, so Nolan Ryan's going to do this to me. I'm going to charge the mound. No, that was the best hits off of Nolan Ryan that you got.
I mean, that was the cocaine era too. So you got a big man like Nolan Ryan all hopped up on cocaine, just popping your ass. You know he was embarrassed, man. He didn't even go to the clubhouse. He just went home after that game.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. Nothing would please me more than to talk baseball all night. But gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming on. Had a great time. The topics that were talked about, we had a great time talking about it. We are 27 days away from opening day. We are so close yet so far, like Patrick said in that episode where SpongeBob threw the peanut, we can almost taste it. But as always, until next week, gentlemen, I'll see you then.
Peace.
Peace out. Oh my God. Look, baseball season is so close. Oh, I can't wait for it to come around. I can't wait to see how the Yankees do. I can't wait to see how the Diamondbacks do. I cannot wait to see how good the Cubs do. This is going to be one of the most exciting seasons of baseball. We are 27 days away. I cannot wait. Like I said, if you want some true victory apparel, be sure to click the link in the description of this video. Use code No Mercy Sports, all caps followed by the number 15 to get 15% off your entire order. I am No Mercy Sports, and I will see you next week. Oh, that actually reminds me. So, starting next week, since football is no longer around, and depending on how things go with work on the weekends, I will be doing shows on Saturdays or Sundays, given the schedule of how work goes. All right. Again, I am No Mercy Sports. I will see y'all next week.